Happy Monday. We got a 9-game slate in the MLB. Let's talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're here with a brand new week of baseball. Hope everyone had a great weekend. You fathers out there, hope you guys had a great Father's Day on Sunday. If some of you were able to just watch the U.S. Open golf tourney, that was one heck of a finish between Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau. Some just missed 2-foot putts that cost Rory another major. Unfortunately, I was pulling for him, but anyways, that was exciting. That was fun to watch. But as for baseball betting, it's middling. It was another middling week again. Just whatever, blah. And it's just frustrating me. It's we're just on that baseball treadmill. If we don't go on a hot streak soon, I'm gonna lose my mind. But I am confident we're gonna stick to the grind and we will get there. So, anyways, quick reminder: the NBA Best Bets video for Game 5 was actually released on Saturday night. That's right, we got it out early. So if you didn't see that, go check it out. We give out 2 best bets for that game, give you some key stats and things like that. So, but I'm ready to get into it. We got a 9-game slate in the MLB, so a little bit smaller than usual. But of course, that means we start out with the baseball fun fact, and it is a current fun fact given to me by someone in the Discord, and then he also gave it to me again on YouTube. So here we go. From at Brian Grabens 1755, Stephen Kwan has more 3+ hit games than hitless games this year. The man is literally getting a hit all the time. If you have not followed Stephen Kwan, it is unbelievable. Kind of Luis Arias type from last year. It's just been bonkers. But 3 or more hits in 11 games this year, and he's only gone over in 7 games this year. Now, I know he's had a little bit of injury too, so he hasn't played the full season yet, but he is just something to watch. I think he just had 4 hits yesterday again. And he's cashed for us like 2-3 times in a row, but the other leg has not. And we will get into my frustration with the hitter parlays lately. But anyways, that's the fun fact. So appreciate it. If you guys have any great fun facts out there, send them my way. But in this video, we're going to recap the weekend again. We're going to talk good hitter matchups. And because it's a Monday and we do it every other Monday, I have the aces of bases for you. The total bases leaders in the MLB the last 15 days. And then we're going to talk those good pitcher strikeout matchups, go over the entire pitcher report, and then, of course, end it with the best bets and the bets recap. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and leave a comment as we're on our way to 26,000 subscribers. And if you're new, just hit that button. We're going to have a lot of fun during MLB season, and we got NFL right around the corner as well. So let's get right into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, let's go over this middling weekend that we just had. And after this, we're actually going to have an added page because I just want to talk to you a little bit about what the hitter parlays have done for us lately. And it's been freaking terrible. But Friday, we're just going to write some notes. I'm not going to go over every single bet here. But 2 losses. One was SWR, Woods Richardson, the pitcher for the Twins. We had under 2.5 runs. He gives up a grand slam in the first inning and then settles down. Sometimes you lose pitcher props because they're just not quite ready in the first inning and they blow it, and that's what happened. And then Bobby went over. You can't say that very often, but of course he did when we bet him. We had the over 7.5, nice win. Hunter Brown over was a nice win, and then we hit Mackenzie Gore at plus 155 to record a win. I think that was even higher that some people got, like plus 190 also. So that was a nice winner. Saturday 2-2. Contreras, the next hitter to go hitless, and then Kirby. So I talked about this over the weekend. George Kirby under a half a walk is something I might throw a half unit on every single time because his hit rate is pretty good, and if you just hit 1 or 2, you're going to be fine. But he decided to walk the first batter. I mean, I guess you call it an easy loss, just brutal. And then Sandoval and Team Total Parlay wore the winners on Saturday. And then Sunday, shocking news, another hitter win hitless. And this time it was our man, Marcell Ozuna, and he was left on deck to end the game also, unfortunately. And then Brady Singer, I don't know what else to say. If you followed that game, he had so many quick outs later in the game. It just was killer. He gave up 2 home runs back to back. He's getting to about 80-something pitches. And then 7 pitches later, he has 3 outs in the inning after having 0. It was insane. But Mitch Parker was an easy win. So anyways, that's just kind of what happened over the weekend. Just a ho-hum. We're still determined to get on that hot streak, and we will. I know we can. We can turn those negative units into positive in just one good hot streak. I know we can do it. So anyways, that's the bets recap. Now let's check out this second page I just want to put up here. This is what's happened in the last little bit of our hitter parlays. I think it's 4 overall, maybe 5 hitter parlay losses in a row. These are the players that have gone over. Combined 0 for 19. I just want to say, I think it takes just as much skill and talent to pick these players when they don't get a hit as it does to try to get them when they do get a hit. I mean, we're talking all stars, all of them. We're talking all stars. Ozuna, Contreras, Witt, Aaron Judge, 0 for 4, 4 Ks, Fernando Tatis, and there it is. So what this tells me, it's not going to scare me away. It just means that we're absolutely due to hit some hitter parlays. Because if some of these guys get some hits, we have a great weekend. We have a great week, actually. It's just the hitter parlays have just been brutal. So that's baseball. I get it. I played it. I understand. But it's just been rough to get some offers from really good players. But that's the bets recap and my little tidbit I wanted to add to it. Now let's talk the good hitter matchups. All right, we got 11 good hitter matchups for you, and it is the Toronto Blue Jay edition. It seems like Bo Bichette, George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, Justin Turner. I mean, there are a ton of Toronto Blue Jays going up against Nick Pivetta. They hit him well, obviously. George Springer and Bichette have the most at bats up there. Kirk 4 for 12, and then over there Varsho 4 for 8 with 2 home runs as well. So the rest of the guys, just 6 at bats over there on the right side. But Dylan Carlson for the Cardinals, 5 for 8 with 1 extra base hit versus the lefty Braxton Garrett. So 9-game slate. You don't get as many good hitter matchups, but hopefully these can still help you get some winners. So that's what we got, and now it's time to talk the aces of bases. All right, if you're new to the channel, we talk the total bases leaders in the last 15 days. We do this every other week. We try to do it every other Monday. Helio Ramos, guys, this guy has been unbelievable. I watched a full at bat from him over the weekend when we had Giants team total over. It's like an 8-9 pitch at bat, ended with a 2-run bomb. He is just lights out right now for the Giants. He is leading the major leagues with 42 total bases, followed by the Candyman, Mr. Candelario, 41. And then we got a couple Orioles with Santander, Gunnar Henderson. And then what you probably didn't expect is 2 White Sox players in the top 7, Paul DeJong and Andrew Vaughn, 37 and 35 total bases. And then you got some of the usual guys down below that with Judge and Alvarez. So that's the first 10. Take a screenshot. And then let's take a look at the final 10 and Freddie Freeman, 32. No real surprises here. Riley Green, obviously 32 is not always up here as well. Ozuna's just the stud this year. Lane Thomas been swinging a little bit better for the Nationals as well, 31. And then over there we have a 3-way tie for the last 2 spots with Teoscar, Royce Lewis, and Jackson Merrill for the Padres. So for you that like to bet bases, hopefully this helps. Maybe it helps you get some hitter parlay winners as well. But those are the total bases leaders in the last 15 days. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we got 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you today on June 17th, and this first one is going to be a popular one. Everyone and their mother is going to probably bet this one. Paul Skeens versus the Reds. I mean, that's just 4 words that everyone loves to hear that likes to bet K props. Cincinnati, though, in the last 3 weeks, they've been a little bit better. 14th highest K percentage versus righties in the last 3 weeks at 24.3%. Skeens, 46 Ks in 33.1 innings. We all know about him. He is the next superstar pitcher of this league. But I will say over the course of the season, since he does have the 3rd highest K rate versus righties at 26.4%. So, you can look back. Maybe they haven't faced as many high K pitchers, or maybe they've started to turn around a little bit as a team. But it's still Paul Skeens, and this guy is just so good. 7 Ks in 5 of his 6 starts, and 8+ Ks in 4 of those 6 starts. The second one, Sonny Gray, the veteran, at the Miami Marlins. Miami is the 5th highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks at 25.3%, and Gray's been solid like always, 91 Ks in 68.2 innings. I will say this it's kind of the opposite of Cincy. Cincy dropped down in the last 3 weeks, and Miami, this is a surprising number. They haven't been in the top 5, top 10 very often. They're only the 17th highest K rate this season versus righties. So just keep that in mind, only 22%. But for some reason, last 3 weeks, they've just K'd a little bit more. And Sonny Gray in his 5 road starts, you see it right there. This is on the road. He has 6-9, 6-9, and 10 Ks in those 5 road starts. 6+ Ks in 10 of his 12 starts overall. So that's what we got for you. Those are the only 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups today. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 5 matchups of the day today, and we have quite the advantage for the Pirates with Paul Skeens against Spires. Spires only thrown 19.1 innings. I think it's his first official start. I could be wrong on that, but we all know what Skeens has done. We've talked about him before, 35.4% K rate. And then a guy that just has not been very good this year, Randy Vasquez. We'll talk about him a little bit later. 5.82 expected ERA, going up against Sanchez of the Phillies, who's had a pretty solid season. And then Sonny Gray, we talked about. Braxton Garrett just hasn't been very good this year. He is due for positive regression, but you should be at a 6.1 ERA. But he is giving up 10.2 hits per 9 innings, as you see, the second most hits on the slate today behind Vasquez. And then Reese's Pieces down there. Reese Olson, we bet on him earlier this year because he was pitching well, but he is not pitching well right now. And again, we will talk about that one later, but he is going up against the ace of the staff and a guy who's just lights out right now, Mr. Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves, the lefty, with a 3.20 ERA, only giving up 6.7 hits per 9 innings, which is the lowest on the card along with Sonny Gray. So those are the first 5 matchups with all the averages on the bottom. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps start your day. Now let's check out page 2 here. And we got Jordan Hicks of the Giants, been just consistent. I mean, he really has. Average K rate, average walk rate. I mean, a little bit above average on hits per 9, but good ERA, and everything just looks solid. He's just an average, solid pitcher. Going up against Javier Assad, 2.81, but he is due for negative regression. He has pitched better in Wrigley, but the wind will be blowing out in Wrigley today, just so you guys know on that one. And then we got James Paxton, who's just not good. I mean, his career is almost over. 13.8% K rate, 5.4 expected ERA. He has gotten lucky this year. Going up against a surprising pitcher in Cal Quantrill, who has thrown the ball really well. Let's just be honest. He's thrown the ball a lot better than we thought, even though he does not miss a lot of bats. And then just a couple guys that, I mean, Rodriguez for the Brewers, 3.2 innings. We don't know a lot about him. Soriano's been decent this year. Little good surprise there for the Angels as well. So anyways, that's what we got. That is the pitcher report for June 17th. And now let's talk some best bets. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Click that link below in the description. Use the promo code JABO. You get 30 days free. All right, here we go. This first bet is a team total parlay. These are alternate lines. I know these teams are not playing against each other. Every time we put this on the screen, there are comments saying these two teams don't play against each other. This is a parlay put together. So give me the Phillies team total over 3.5 runs and the Braves team total over 2.5 runs. I got this at minus 125 on BetMGM. Now, before I start talking about this, I want to give you guys pivots. Not everybody has alternate team totals. I get that, or maybe the juice has gone up because I saw this at minus 135. I think it was on DraftKings already. They might go up. So some pivots. I also like the Braves team total over 4.5 on their own. Maybe if you need to add a third leg and you want to do some sort of just to reduce the juice a little bit, I don't mind the Reds team total under 5.5 just to reduce it a little bit more as a third leg. Or if you can get Phillies team total over 2.5 runs in the first 5 innings, I don't mind that too. The Phillies team total, like I said, I have over 3.5. It has already moved to 5.5 on some books. But let's talk about one of the reasons I like it. The weather looks absolutely incredible. It's warm, it's hot, and the wind is blowing out. Absolutely beautiful for Phillies offense. So, second, the Phillies get to face Randy Vasquez. Now, he's been a little bit better lately, but he just has not been very good this season. He's given up 3 or more earned runs in 5 of his 8 starts this year. And as you saw already on the pitch report, he just doesn't miss many bats. 26 Ks in 38.1 innings. And he has struggled against lefties, to say the least. He has given up a 4.48 batting average to lefties. They have some guys named Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. I'm just saying they might want to just put it on a tee because it might be that good for them. But their team total, it's at 5.5. Like I said, I wouldn't play it at 5.5 on its own. Probably as the home team, probably 8 at bats. 5.5 is just for me personally too high, but I do think they score a lot. And I'm just asking for 4 from one of the best offenses in baseball. In 37 home games this year, they have scored 4 more runs in 27 of those 37. So obviously a good hit rate there, which is no surprise at this number. And then the Padres bullpen, been average, a little above average this year, or at least since May 1st, but nothing that scares me away or anything. I honestly think the Phillies have 3 or 4 runs by the time Vasquez leaves the game. So anyways, that's my first leg. Second leg, Braves team total over 2.5. Their line is 4.5. I'm taking it all the way down to 2.5. Their bats are heating up a little bit. They just scored 22 runs in the weekend series versus the Tampa Bay Rays, which is always something you like to see. And they get to face a guy like Reese Olson, who I just briefly mentioned in the pitcher report. He has been absolutely awful in his last 3 starts, and I mean awful. He's done something not many people do. He's given up 10 or more hits in 2 straight games. That's a lot of hits given up. It's the definition of a Christmas tree. We're talking getting lit up everywhere right now. He has given up 17 earned runs in the last 14.2 innings. That's over 3 starts. 3 starts. So he's given up over an earned run per inning. That's just not going to cut it. He's not fooling many hitters. He's leaving pitchers over the plate. It just really has not been pretty for him lately. Even without Acuna, I like this Braves lineup right now. And again, I'm only need 3 runs. I'm not saying I need them to score 6 or anything. Matt Olson, 16 for his last 39. Yeah, that's pretty good. Ozuna, still crushing it, except yesterday because I bet on him. That's my fault, not his. Austin Riley, 6 for 10 over the weekend. Even guys like Jared Kelenic, the ex-Mariner, 5 for 13 over the weekend. So they got some guys swinging it, even though they got some injuries that they're dealing with. But even though we think that their offense has been terrible this year, and listen, they've underperformed. They're still the 10th highest scoring team in the majors. They've averaged 4.5 runs per game. It's a great matchup. Good weather. I just need 3 runs at home. That's all I need. So, anyways, that's my best bet. Give me the Braves team total over 2.5 and the Phillies team total over 3.5. And let's start out with a winner. All right, we take a pause in the bets just to let you know about the BetMGM promo out right now. First bet offer up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win that first bet. Guys, you can go take a chance. You can go make a huge bet. If you lose, it's okay because you're going to get it back in bonus bets. Now, in order to get this promo, you got to click that link below for BetMGM. It's in the description. Go check it out. It's a limited time offer, but it is a great deal. And you got nothing to lose. Go sign up. And I always recommend using different sports books because it's going to give you different odds. Long term, it's going to really help you out. So if you're in a legal state, go check out BetMGM. Of course, you must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back to the bets. All right, this second game takes us out to Texas where the Rangers are hosting the New York Mets. Rangers on the money line minus 130, Mets on the money line plus 110 with a total of 8.5 runs. I'm going player prop here, and I'm going under. Give me the lefty, David Peterson, under 4.5 Ks at minus 104 on FanDuel. It's the 1 unit play for me. Peterson has not been the same pitcher as he was last year, which is a guy who actually used to miss or at least strike out more than one per inning. But this year, it has not been the case. So last year, let's talk about this. He had a 26% K rate. It is much lower. You saw in the pitcher report now. His fastball last year, 11.6% swinging strike rate. This year, 6.8, about half. Slider, 21.7 swinging strike rate last year, 15.3% this year. You get the gist, but sinker, 7.2 last year, 4.4%, and then a changeup. How about a 15.3% swinging strike rate to a 5.1? Now, this is all on a smaller sample size. I get that he's only made 3 starts, but still what you're seeing has not been that great so far. He's not getting a ton of whiffs. I think last start he got 2 whiffs versus the Miami Marlins. And in these 3 starts this year, he has 3 Ks versus the Dodgers, 2 versus the Nationals, and 1 versus the Marlins in his last start. So, and what I also love about this is he's not being stretched out a lot. In the 3 games he's played already, and since he is coming from injury and all that, he's only thrown 86, 81, and 84 pitches. So obviously that keeps him less in the game when he's getting to that 80, 85 pitch mark. So he's facing the Rangers like we talked about, 18th in K rate versus lefties at only 20.1% in the last 3 weeks. Since May 1st, they're 23rd in K rate with only a 19.7% K rate versus lefties, which is practically identical to the Dodgers, who he just struck out 3 times a couple starts ago. Texas also a top 10 walk team versus lefties, might help him help work that pitch count up as well. I just think this is a tick too high. I think it should be a 3.5. So I know under 4.5 is stressful, but again, this is a guy who has 6 total Ks in 3 starts so far this year. So give me the under 4.5 Ks as my second best bet. All right, I got one more best bet for you before we get to those hitter parlay ideas, and it takes us out to Miami, where the Marlins host the St. Louis Cardinals. Cards on the money line minus 162, Marlins on the money line plus 136 with a total of 7.5 runs. Give me a little same game parlay. Give me Sonny Gray 5+ Ks and Cardinals money line at minus 123 on DraftKings. Now the Sonny Gray 5+ Ks. This is to reduce the juice. His line is actually 6.5, juiced at like minus 140 to the over. They expect him to get 7 or more Ks, as do I. At the very worst, 6+ Ks. I only need 5 here. So we talked about him a little bit already. I'm not going to repeat too much, but I will repeat a little bit of it. 6+ Ks in all 5 road starts. 6+ Ks in 10 of 12 starts. Again, we only need 5. Marlins have been average over the course of the season, like we talked about, but 5th highest K percentage versus righties in the last 3 weeks. I don't think 5 should be an issue. I really don't. Cardinals money line. This is the meat and potatoes of it. Braxton Garrett takes the mound for the Miami Marlins, the lefty. He has struggled in Miami, and he struggled overall in general in a small sample size. But in Miami, he has 11.68 ERA through only 12.1 innings so far this year. He's made 6 starts overall. That's right. He has not pitched all season or anything. He's given up 4 more earned runs in 4 of those 6 starts. He's also given up 9 earned runs in his last 7.1 innings to the Mets and the Rays. It just has not been pretty for him. He's not a guy that misses bats. You saw all the numbers in the pitcher report. The Cardinals offense, they're not a great offense versus lefties. They're about average, maybe slightly below average, but I think they can get to Braxton Garrett for a couple runs here. And honestly, I don't think they need to score a lot because we got the guy on the mound that we talked about already, Mr. Sonny Gray. He's been solid. He's had a couple blow up starts, but two of them were against two of the top like 7 offenses in the Phillies and the Brewers. He usually takes care of business. I don't even know what I was saying. He usually takes care of business. Business. That is a very tough word to say. Versus the bad teams. And speaking of bad teams, how about the Marlins offense? They're a team. If you haven't watched them, they have to get on base via a hit. First of all, they don't walk. They have the lowest walk rate in the entire majors. It's under 6% versus righties. They're also a team that's bottom 5 in power. So they're not going to get those quick runs by hitting a ton of home runs. They're not going to get on base by walks. So the reason they don't score a lot of runs is because they have to string together a lot of hits in order to score runs. And that's why it's been a struggle. So, I mean, in this game, we got the Cardinals with the better lineup. We know that. We got the Cardinals with the much, much better starting pitcher. I like the numbers, like minus 162, I believe we just talked about. I really think that number's a little too low. I thought it'd be more like minus 180, minus 190 up there. But throw on Sonny Gray 5+ Ks with the Cardinals money line, and that is my third best bet of the day. And now let's talk some hitter parlay ideas. So here we go. I got 4 of them for you today. First one, Matt Olson, the lefty. We talked about it briefly already. 16 for his last 39, 410 average in the last 10 games. That's insane. 2+ hits in 4 of his last 5 games. He is on a 10-game hitting streak. He is finally starting to heat up, and he is a guy who usually heats up as June and July hit during the season. He's facing a guy, like we already talked about, who's given up 22 hits in his last 9.1 innings. Marcell Ozuna, another teammate, facing Reese's Pieces. Well, Marcell Ozuna, we should just bet him because he got 0 hits for us yesterday, right? He's not going to get 0 again. He's facing Reese Olson. We already talked about Reese Olson giving up a ton of hits. And Marcell Ozuna is hitting over like 330, 335 at home this year. Absolutely raking. Let's just bet him because this is how it goes. You bet on a guy, he gets 0 hits. Next day he's probably gonna rake. But third guy, Heliot Ramos. My goodness, this guy is good. He is fun to watch hit. He, as you just saw, he has the most total bases in the MLB in the last 15 days. He's hitting 325 on the season. He has 2+ hits in 7 of his last 10 games. He is facing Javier Assad, who's been pretty good this year. He's given up 61 hits and 73.2 innings, but from what I see, the wind is blowing out in Wrigley, and obviously that's why that total is high, and that's why hits should be a little bit easier to come by, also harder to pitch when the wind is blowing out like that in Wrigley. So Ramos probably just has to be there until he shows that he's going to cool down, but I watched, like I mentioned before, I watched a long pitch at bat from him when he hit a 2-run bomb, and he just looks so locked in at the plate right now. But anyways, the fourth one, Freddie Freeman, the lefty for the Dodgers. As you saw earlier, 6 for 12 versus Cal Quantrill this season. 1+ hit in 12 of the 14 games, and he's hitting in Coors Field. He's 8 for his last 22 in Coors Field. Quantrill's been surprisingly good this year, but at home, it's harder to pitch. You're in Coors Field. He has given up 25 hits in 29 innings at home this year. So that's what I got for you. The 4-hitter parlay ideas. I'll probably add one in the morning. And those are my 3 best bets. All the research help. Let's go get some winners. Let's start the week out strong. But first, let's go check out that recap. All right, there it is. The Phillies team total over 3.5 and the Braves team total over 2.5. Alt line parlay. I gave out some pivots if you can't get those when I talked to bet as well. If you are someone that just fast forward to this part, minus 125 on BetMGM. David Peterson, the lefty for the Mets, under 4.5 Ks at minus 104 on FanDuel. And then a same game parlay. Give me Sonny Gray 5+ Ks and the Cardinals money line at minus 125 or 123, sorry, on DraftKings. So that's what we got. Those are the best bets for June 17th. Again, that NBA video is already out. Go check that for Game 5. Let's get some winners in both sports on a Monday to start the week. But thank you guys for all the support. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.